video is recording. Audio is also now recording. We have confirmation that I can begin the show in 2, 3, 1, or 3, 2, 1.
All right, Curly, enough's enough. You can't eat the Venetian blinds. I just had them installed on Wednesday.
The Morning Stream. 2 weeks? There's no such thing as 2 weeks in the news business.
I think he might be right about that. There is no such thing as 2 weeks in the news business. You're on to the next story. Stuff doesn't last long anymore, right?
Nope. 2 days almost.
2 days almost. Hey, if you hear that voice and you're thinking, that's not Brian, well, it's because it's not. It's Bobby. Bobby Frankenberger joining me, Scott Johnson, on the TMS show, which is happening today, Thursday, July 25th, 2024. Bobby, hi. Welcome.
Hi, yeah, I guess I committed the podcasting sin, which is to speak before being introduced.
No, there's no sin in that at all. We have full forgiveness. I have atoned for your sins long before you got here, so don't worry about it.
I'm at confession right now. Bless me,
For I have
podcasted.
Whatever. You look more like Jesus. I should be talking to you that way. Look at you. You know.
Yeah.
You represent all that man needs. I don't know what that means.
All that man needs. All of it.
Well, anyway, you might be saying to yourselves, "Hey, where's Brian?" Brian, turns out, his voice was a little effed up on Tuesday. Everybody noticed that. But we just figured it was smoke or something in the air, whatever. Next day, he's like, "Oh man, this turned into something gnarly. Big summer cold. COVID's negative, but I don't think I can make it on the show today." And I said, "No problem. We'll bounce today, and if you're feeling better tomorrow, great. If not, I'll grab Bobby. We'll see what we can do." So he says, "Great. I'm feeling like 80%, but I think we'll be okay." Well, this morning, the fever came, and things all got worse. And now he's testing positive for COVID. So Brian. Feels like he's got that version of COVID I had in 2022, which knocked me on my freaking arse.
Ouch.
I hated it. It was terrible. I don't ever want it again. And also, Brian is now like patient number 7 in my personal life. I don't know what's going on right now, but everybody's got the damned vid again.
Yeah.
And
I just heard this morning Alex Albisu has COVID.
Oh, no. I don't like that because I like Alex. You know?
Yeah. Or maybe other people in his house and he's waiting he's testing or something like that, but other people in the house, so it's inevitable.
Sounds like Brian's experience. I think, Tina having it and then a couple of weeks went by and he thought, I'm in the clear. I don't have to worry about it. And I guess not. Incubation is different for everybody, isn't it? Tell us, science man, Bobby the science man.
Yeah, there are averages, but it's different for everybody, and who knows anymore because it acts so differently now than it used to. So all of our information about how COVID acts is at least, there are scientists who know very well how it works, but people, laymen like you and I, who all of our information is like a couple years, is mid-pandemic old, Oh,
I was gonna say, yeah, we haven't really. It's not that COVID ever left or whatever, but.
It's very much still around, but there's not a lot of news about it lately. I actually just covered a thing for, we do little patron updates for science updates, and one I just did this week was about COVID. Actually, first time I'd seen something in a while. It was that COVID. They did some studies that shows that it sounds boring the way I'm going to say it, and it's okay. That long COVID rates have been going down, which is, it's not that it's boring, it's just that it's almost, you're like, oh, good, okay, cool.
That is good though, because long COVID sucks. I know people still with issues they got in 2020 that they're having to deal with. My daughter Carter got it in like same year we did, 2022. She was in Iceland at the time, but her lungs have not been the same. Like they keep trying to do stuff to figure out why, and they're clear.
Long COVID's a real thing. And you know what I found out researching this for the thing that I covered was that, and I didn't know this, that early, before pre-vaccine times, long COVID rates were, and when I say long COVID rates, I mean the rates among people who got COVID, how many of them developed into long COVID?
Yeah.
1 in 10 people got long COVID, and that's crazy. I did not realize it was that high.
Damn, that is high.
Yeah.
But, and also, when they say, here's the other problem I don't like about the term. They say long COVID. We know very little about it, right? Like how to curb it or treat it or do whatever. But also, long implies that there is a finite period of time. That you'll be experiencing these problems, right? So, like normally, COVID or any illness, you're done in however many days, and it kind of has its way with you, and whatever level it does, and then you move on. For something like this to stick around, you say, well, you have long COVID. Well, what does that actually mean? Is that a year? Is it 6 months? Is it 20 years? Like, what is it?
Yeah,
is
it's
it
different for everybody, right?
Yeah.
And so that's the frustrating thing. Some people have it. I think the definition is something relatively short, like maybe 4 or 6 weeks, if symptoms persist, or maybe it's just a month or 2 or something like that. And some people only have it that long, but some people, like you said, have it 6 months. Some people are still, who got it at the beginning of the pandemic, are still experiencing long COVID, and some in a really serious, like severe way. And then all the symptoms are weird, and everybody seems to have different ones, and it's all crazy. But
yeah, that FDA guy that used to live up the street from me, worked for I think it was the FDA. Anyway, he was some kind of special agent guy, kind of a big shot, secret stuff, all that. Super cool dude. But he got COVID early in the cycle, late 2020 or mid 2020, and young. I think he was 39, turning 40. He was worked out all the time. He had a certain regimen he had to keep up for his job, like all this kind of stuff. All these requirements for his health. He got it. Ended up with something that just made it so his oxygen plummeted. Months later, it was just plummeting all the time, just going down for no reason. Like lung function was just like all over the map. So that poor dude, now 43 or whatever, oxygen every day, all day.
Oh my gosh! Yeah.
They didn't fire him. He still works there, but good Lord, if it is the FDA, which is Federal Drug, no, not FDA. What's the one where they went after the David Koresh stuff? DEA.
The DEA, yeah. I was wondering why there were secret FDA agents.
We know what's in the corn, and we're not telling you what it is. No, it's like that. These guys were like,
the expiration dates are off on this bread.
That's right. They're all fake anyway. It turns out the conspiracy's true. Anyway, that poor guy. I just feel terrible for him. But he used to be like this important agent guy that would like lead up task force and like, put on a vest and like break into a place and make drug busts and all this. And now he's just like stuck with this frickin' tank of oxygen all day because of this damn virus. Well, anyway, enough about that. The important thing is be careful out there, especially if you're at risk for other stuff. And don't get it, because summer, freaking F that. Summer colds were already dumb. It's already stupid.
Yeah. But in brighter news, I heard that Utah had a birthday.
It did yesterday. Utah turned, I don't know the age. And it's not
you're like the most excited Utahn that I know, and you don't know the age of your state.
I know. I'm usually very pro, although I should stop doing that because too many people move here. I need everyone to go back to thinking that we're weird, and that we should.
Well, I don't think we ever stopped thinking that.
Yeah, but we need to be so weird that we are to be avoided, because you're making our house prices do insane leaps, and even though things have kind of slowed in the housing market in general, they don't feel like they have here, and they certainly stopped at the highest point ever. And I think I looked at the stats. We're like 3rd or 4th in the country right now on a sort of median house prices. That's too high for Utah. We need to go back. Here, I'm stumping for like an election. We need to go back to a time when Utah was right in the middle. It didn't matter what you did on this side or this side. We were right there in the middle. Happily in the middle. And we're weird, so quit moving here. That's what I feel like saying. California, slow your roll, all right? Mm-hmm. I know it's beautiful here. It always has been. I know that it's amazing. And when you get here, you go, oh my gosh, this is Utah. Yes, we know all that. But go back to thinking that we're weird or have horns or we're going to marry you into a 50-wife deal or whatever you think. All that BS that's been around forever. I used to resent it. Now I understand. It was acting as a bit of a bubble, like a force field.
It was all propaganda perpetuated by Utahns.
Right. Y'all
so that people would stay away.
Get in the car and go to Idaho. Go up there. Here it's great. Yeah.
Move
there.
I hear the potatoes are amazing.
They made everyone's house prices triple here, which is great if you own one. You're like, oh, you mean I paid $300 and now it's worth $900? That's amazing. But then
sell
you're
your
like,
house and move on to South Carolina. We still have good house prices.
The South, Mississippi, Louisiana, the Carolinas, South more than North. They've all stayed pretty okay. And you can get you can get a lot of space and a lot of land and, pretty big house, even an older house for a fraction of what you'd pay here.
Yeah.
But it used to be we were right there with you, Bobby. We were there. It was like, hey, where can we move that's not horrible? How about Utah? Oh, that'd be great. We'll have to dodge Mormons constantly, but let's go. But now it's like, oh, it turns out it's not
small price to pay.
It's nothing like anyone thought. In fact, they're not even the majority in Salt Lake City anymore. That's interesting. I guess we'll move there. Ooh, I can get a house in Utah for $5 million. That is, 10 acres plus 14 bedrooms, giant mansion for the same price I paid in California and LA for a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom Rambler. Yeah, you can. So, but now you can't. So quit doing it.
Yeah.
All right. Enough of that. Happy birthday. Oh, back to the point. It wasn't actually a birthday. It's Pioneer Day. I always screw it up because it's kind of when we celebrate it, but Statehood Day is a different day. This is when the pioneers entered the valley in 18, whatever the hell it was. This is the part where I don't know the age. And said, yeah, check it out. This valley's cool. Let's do it. And they
stood high upon a hill, and a beam of golden light shone upon the valley, showing them where to settle.
There are some tellings of the story that are similar to that. Like basically Brigham Young, who led that group over here, he stood on top of a hill with his cane and said, he's famous for saying, "This is the place." And we have a lot of places in town.
Wait, that's what he said?
Yeah.
This is the place.
This is the place. And we have made it into almost like holy writ, that saying. So when you go, there is a "This is the place" not national, but like a memorial park or something. There's a "This is the place" point of the mountain thing where supposedly he stood and made this proclamation. Like people are really into it. So I would go ahead I would just say to our California friends, "Isn't that weird? That's too weird. Don't come here. That's weird, man."
So this is the place sounds so like, I don't know. It sounds so like half-hearted. Like
it's pedestrian, right? It's pedestrian.
Yeah, this is the place. It's fine.
Yeah, this is the place. I'm tired of walking. I don't want to go further because they could have done that. They could have gone up to Oregon and said, okay, I guess this is the place. But no, they were like, I've had it. We've like 1,200 people have died on this trip. Our cattle are skinny. And I really need to take a shit. Can we stop here? That's basically what this is the place is.
Yeah, somebody was standing next to him. They were like, "Where are we going? Where are we ever going to stop?" And he's frustrated, just was like, "I don't. Whatever. This is the place."
Yeah, that's the place. Where do you want us to put this? Right there. That's the place. Yeah. Anyway, so now we are what we are. Anyway, congratulations to everybody who blew off fireworks until 2, 3 in the morning. I hate that, and I don't really celebrate. Like I don't. The parade is the other big thing downtown. Yep. I'd rather be put in a vat of boiling Boogersnots. I don't want. I hate parades so much, dude. I hate them. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think if there's a public thing that I hate more than parades. I don't think there is. I think parades are it. I really.
It's kind of like that feeling of. When you go to a concert and it's like standing room only and everybody wants to get towards the front. So people like up towards the front of the stage, everybody's pushed up there trying to get.
Right.
So it's like that, but it's it's a really long stage because it's down a street.
Yeah.
And so everybody's trying to get up next to the street and you're elbow to elbow pushing each other and all that. But you only get like 1 minute of the show on that stage, right? Because it just like passes right.
It just
I guess you get
by.
The whole thing really, but it's still like, the whole place is cramped, pushing standing room where everybody's trying to get to the front.
It's basically the lazy Susan of public displays of entertainment. It's just this they come to you, they rotate around, and I don't want to decry anybody's awesome float that they took 6 months to build, and it's got a photorealistic version of the Virgin Mary, whatever it is. I don't know what they do, but I have one memory of parade where it really turned for me, and that was when my kids were little. It was like, well, you got to take your kids to a parade. They got to see, let them have the experience. They're kids, they're excited, whatever. They'll see cartoon characters and all this. So I remember going to our first parade, Taylor on my shoulders, just a wee baby, or old enough to talk, actually, so not that old. So she was probably like 18 months, 2 years. She could say words. And we're watching the parade, and about halfway through it, she just starts patting my face. And I'm like, what's the matter? I thought she had to pee, or I didn't know what was going on. Full diaper, I didn't know. And she says, Daddy, we go home? We go home? I'm like, hell yes! If the 2-year-old's done, we're done. Yeah. Let's go.
Yeah. Oh, gotta go. She wants to go. We gotta go.
Yep. Never went back. I guess we probably took the other two at some point, but I don't remember those.
So you're a tall dude. Let me ask you a question.
Go.
You need to be honest with me.
I'll do it.
It's fine. It's fine. But when you are at a place like that and people are trying to see, and then you put your child on your shoulders, do you stand in the front or do you back up?
I go to the rear, never the front.
Thank you for being a decent human being.
Well, partially because I know how annoying that must feel. Or I've always had an intrinsic feeling that I'm in the way. I've always felt this way. And I don't mean like interpersonal relationship in the way. I don't mean like that. I mean like physically.
Just by being so tall,
I'm in the way. So when I sit in a movie theater, I go, I know I'm in the way. Before stadium seating kind of took over and it was a little more flat, I would watch movies almost on my back is how far down I would lay. So the people, because I hate the idea that somebody else is looking at my big-eared idiot head, which is already too big. I'm very conscious of that. And we were talking. Me and Carter were talking on the Monday show about social space or like public. What's the word I'm looking for? Crowd awareness, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And how I think it's a very important parenting thing to teach your kids very early what it means to get out of the way at the right time, watch for traffic at the right time. These things all kind of work together. Don't be that person that's standing in front of people when they're trying to get by. Always be aware that someone else is around you, these sorts of things. So always really important to us, and I think it worked. My kids are all very thoughtful about that. But I think it comes from this feeling that I'm in the way all the time. I feel that way now, even if I go to, what was something recent? Oh, I know what it was. Street performers in Park City just a week ago were doing some cool stuff, and I'm standing there, and I realized I am the tallest person in this wad of 35 people.
Right.
It would not be cool if I was right up on the line, so I backed up, and because I can see it, I see over all their heads. So yeah, I if you're not aware of your own physicality, I think you're doing something wrong. Like I'll bet tall narcissists are the worst people, because they want to be in your way. They think they think that's cool. So, or they don't think about it at all because I don't know how that works for tall. I don't know any tall narcissists. I don't know any.
It's an understudied area of psychology.
Yeah.
Tall narcissists.
We're going to start digging into that here on the show. Bobby's our new tall narcissist expert. He'll be here next week, I believe, to talk more. All right, let's keep going here. We found out, according to Tweep, that you can indeed control your dreams. This has been a bit of a off and on the show, about whether you can get into your dream and tell it which way to go, kind of direct your dreams. What do they call it? Lucid dreaming, I guess. Lucid dreaming, yeah. Before we play this call, where do you stand on the concept?
Lucid dreaming is a phenomenon. As far as I know, it's a phenomenon that does exist. I think the techniques vary, but I think it's been demonstrated pretty well that lucid dreaming is something that does happen. It's just how do you go about doing it? Where you get into the fuzziness are like, what are the benefits of lucid dreaming? Like maybe none, but it's cool.
Sure, it is cool. There might, I don't know if there are or not, but I'm more likely to assume that there are actually downsides because if you're in control, you're less asleep. In my just like guesswork here, again, I don't know anything about this, not a sleep scientist. But it seems like if you are in there controlling it and you are somewhat conscious of it, then your subconscious isn't fully taking the dump it needs to every night. There's a little bit of an anchor out there to the conscious world, and that makes me feel like that can't be good for you for a long time. But what do I care? There are no old, tall guys, so it'll be fine before that matters. You know, that's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's play this call from Tweep. He says he does it, and here's how he does it.
Hey guys, it's Tweep. This is for TMS. A little while ago, you were talking about like controlling your dreams and stuff like that. For some reason, whenever I do like the Heelys thing, you know, where like you kind of lean back and like that's how you like go with your Heelys and whatnot, then I can know it's a dream and I can control the dream. That's super weird. Yeah, love the show though.
So I'm not exactly sure. He says Heelys. Are you talking about those shoes that had a wheel in them?
That's what I know Heelys to be.
Yeah. So unless it's something else, and I don't know what it is, but it sounds like he can. Yeah, I also heard Canadian Dr. Calhoun for sure. He had a boot in there.
Yeah.
I think I already knew Tweep was from there, but I can't remember. Anyway,
yeah.
But so Rainbow Bright says she doesn't understand. Me neither. But this idea of like, let's imagine you're in your bed. If there was a physical thing you could do that you got, I don't know how you would do this to start with, but a physical thing that would trigger the lucidity, that makes sense to me. I just don't know how you would ever start that. You know what I mean?
I don't know. Everything I've ever read about trying to induce lucid dreaming, first of all, I've read that it takes a lot of practice. There's no like one trick. You have to kind of like train your brain, which that's a phrase that makes me cringe. That's a conversation for another day, though.
It's also a Nintendo game on the DS, wasn't it? Brain training or whatever was that called?
Brain train? I don't know.
Whatever it was. Yeah.
But I've heard like a reliable method for doing that it's all about reality testing. So you have to train yourself to reflexively reality test. And so what I mean by reality testing is just things that check to make sure that reality is real, right? Like checking the time on your watch, looking at text and making sure that it is legible and makes sense and stuff like that. Other things, checking the firmness of the ground, all these things. And if you do that all the time during the day, like at regular intervals, every 30 minutes or something like that, and you just train yourself to be reflexive about it, I think the idea is that eventually in your dreams, you would reflexively do that kind of thing too. And then it's about, recognizing that, oh, I'm not getting a predictable result. And then it's supposed to like kind of trigger your subconsciousness or whatever you call it while you're sleeping, because it's certainly not consciousness.
Yeah.
To be like, oh, this is not a thing, and then to not be startled by that fact into being awake.
Yeah. I mean, I had a thing happen this morning, 4 a.m. I wake up with the greatest idea. It felt like the greatest idea I'd ever had in my entire life. But there are two parts of me. One that says, Scott, write that idea down. And even if it's bad, at least you've written it down, and in the morning you can make a determination. Done that before, so I was thinking, well, you should do that. And then this other part of me, which was about 55% of my brain, just with controlling interest, says, you're too tired, don't get up, you'll remember in the morning, it's fine.
Yep.
Fell asleep, woke up again this morning about 6:30 and went, I don't know what that was. I don't remember at all. I'm mad at myself because I'm telling you, Bobby, I thought I had the greatest idea and it really felt like it. I woke up going, holy shit, this changes everything. I'm not kidding.
And now the world will never know.
Yeah, I'll never know. I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah.
So someone with lucid dreaming advice, tell me how I can have another dream tonight to come up with whatever that thing was and remember it. And then I'll write it down. I will overtake the 55%. And I have a thing right next to my bed. September sent it to me. It's this awesome sketchbook thing. I use it sometimes for this very reason, and I didn't do it.
Yeah. It just takes practice. It just takes practice. And and you have to train yourself to do it.
Nice. Oh, Claire, Claire says, I've just learned something of Claire. Number one, she says she can lucid dream and she's going to send me some videos or something. Number two, she's on the underground right now. I assume that's like Subway, right? Like their underground railroad deal. Yeah. I didn't know you had, does everyone have that except, well, I guess we have it in America. We have it in New York and there's subways in America, but
yeah.
But Ireland, if I go to Dublin or whatever, can I get into the tube, and drive around?
I would imagine you can. There's subways all over the place.
All right.
What makes you think that it would be? Why do you think it's weird that there would be a subway in Ireland?
I don't know. You know what? I need to go to Ireland because I have a picture in my head that is not correct.
Yeah.
It's just, to me, it's a guy standing on some rocks going, and then if it's not him, it's a guy making a snow angel in a pile of potatoes. And if it's not him, it's somebody downing way too much Guinness at a pub somewhere. And if it's not him,
the entry into the underground, every tunnel and tube entrance is in the shape of a giant pot of gold in Ireland.
Right. And
they're all at the end of rainbows.
Yeah, and every food stuff, it has little marshmallows in them.
Yeah.
Listen, Chad, I realize I want to go to Ireland. I know I'm playing around with stereotypes here, but I don't have a good image of things like what is a city there, or Scotland even. Like when TV's Travis gets back, he can kind of fill some of this in. I assume he'll spend some time in the city as well as some of the outskirts where he's at now. But anyway, I'm playing around. I realize there's more to it than Lucky Charms. I'm just saying I don't have a good image. I don't mean I have a bad image. I mean I don't have a good fully formed, generative AI image in my head of what Ireland actually looks like. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
But I hope the blight passes over your house and moves on to someone you like less. All right, moving on. The blight, I know, was a lack of potatoes, was the blight a lack of potatoes, or was the blight a disease? Now I've forgotten.
A disease on potatoes, I think, maybe?
I think it was I thought it was like they couldn't grow. It was more like a drought caused it. Famine, yeah, that's what I meant to say. So blight is a famine, or is a blight was a disease? Okay, this guy says yes. This guy says no. Oh, we're going to have to look it up. Can we look it up? It's
the Great Famine in Ireland is what it says, also known as the Great Hunger, a period of starvation and disease in Ireland lasting from 1845 to 1852.
Did any of those diseases end up on a potato and call it the blight? Because that's the question, right? Is the blight an actual, potato disease? Oh, it is. All right. I found something.
The proximate cause of the famine was the infection of potato crops by blight.
Okay, so blight is both a disease and the causer of famine, of lack of potato, right?
Yes. The blight is the disease.
Yeah. I'm sure they were all on the ground at the time going, what we've got here? A distinct lack of potatoes. But it's caused by the weird stuff on the potatoes. Right?
Yeah.
All right. Enough of that. Let's move on to this. Oh, I got a quick quiz for you.
Oh, I love quizzes.
Because you're science adjacent, right? I shouldn't say it that way.
It's fair to say I'm science adjacent.
You have a great podcast. You're a very scientific mind, all of these things. All right. So I'm going to play this quiz with you. It's called the Ologies quiz, real or fake. When given a scientific study ending in ology, can you determine if that is real or fake?
So
I don't know if I should. I don't think I have any good. Let's see if I have a good sounder for this. Probably have something. How about this? Actually, I'll just search for ology and see if I have anything with ology. I don't. All right. Well, how about science? Okay, here's one.
I think science.
Oh, remember that? We used to do that one. How about this one?
Yep.
Oh.
Stupid scientific study of the day.
All right, that was the thing we did way back.
Wow, that was a real throwback.
Yeah. How about this one? No, we know that one. How about this one?
Dogs got kidneys, right? Pigs got kidneys.
Okay, something about kidneys. Anyway, I guess I need a new one for this. Here we go. Let's do it.
All right.
We're starting with this one. Oh, we have a timer of 6 minutes, I guess, on this, so we'll see how it goes.
Oh, boy.
Barnesology. True or false? Fake or real?
Barnesology.
Barnesology. B-A-R-N-E-S.
B-A-R-N-E-S. I'm going to say that one is... It's fake. It's
fake.
False.
It says here... Oh, we'll find out at the end, I guess. Hippopathology. Hippopathology.
Oh, hippopathology is definitely real.
Oh, look at you with the quick answer. Let's see, is that real? Well, we don't know. We're going to find out shortly. Penology or penology, P-E-N-ology.
Yeah, the spelling is really, really important in all of these. So penology. I think that sounds real. Yes, let's go. Real.
Real.
It's not about penises, though. I'm gonna guess.
All right. Latrinology, I believe is how you say it.
Latrinology.
Latrinology. Yeah.
If I wanted to, but I'm gonna say no. That's fake.
Fake.
Go.
All right, fake. Mesopaleology, paleontology. MESISSOPALYNO.
It's in front of you, and the word is in front of you, and not only did you pronounce it wrong, you spelled it wrong, even though it's in front of you.
Melissopaleology.
Yeah, I don't know how you pronounce it, but melissopaleology, I guess maybe.
That's a hard one.
I'm gonna say I've never heard any of those parts of those words. The study of Melissas is fake.
Fake.
Go.
All right, we did fake. Oh, it might mean it was real. Dendro. I don't know how this website works. We're just
Dendrology is real.
That's real. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, it does turn green. I guess we got it real. Gynology. It's just very brief. Gynology. Jinnology.
Oh, geez.
Study of
fake.
gin. A fake? All right, we're doing fake. Yeah. Luke, what are you talking about? All right, paranormology. Like paranormal, you know, that word? Paranormology.
Yeah, I'm going to say that's real in quotes.
All right, real. Oh, false.
What?
Quizology. Sorry, I don't know why I want to keep saying O in there, but quizology.
Oh, what's the root of the word quiz? I don't know. That's going to be the real thing. Like the study of quizzes is probably not what that is, but I'm going to say that is real.
Real. Let's hit real. Incorrect. We'll find out at the end what that is, I guess. Birdology.
No, that's not real. That's fake.
Correct. Portugalology? Like Portugal, but with ology at the end?
Portugalology. That's fake. Let's go. That's a dumb word.
You are correct. Fake. Pomology. I keep wanting to do the O. Like it's a Betty O'Brien. I keep wanting to do that.
Pomology.
Pomology.
That sounds sciencey. Yeah, let's go for it.
All right, we're going real. Oh, correct. Anoeology. So it's Angnoyology.
Probably like agnoyology.
The study of agnoids? I don't know what this is.
Yes,
all right,
real.
It's
Let's
real.
go.
It is. It's green. All right, punology, like PUNN. I don't know if that's like, you know, I made a pun. That's funny.
Pun is words.
Or punology.
No, it's probably not related to that. Maybe like what's a sciencey pun? Punnett squares are with genetics, but that was named after a person. I'm gonna say fake. It's fake.
All right, we're hitting fake. Oh, incorrect. It is real. Let's see. Drawillsnology?
Drawless.
I'm so bad at these. I'm terrible at this shit.
Yeah, the real title of this segment is Scott and Bobby try to pronounce words.
And Bobby does them better than I do.
None of that sounds familiar. I'm going to say fake.
All right. Oh, you are correct. Vexillology. VEXILL.
That's real. I know that one's real. I can't remember what it is, but it's real.
You are correct. 2 more questions. We got 1:37. Endobiology.
Correct. That's true. That's real.
Oop, fake. It says.
What?
Well, we'll find out. Speleology.
Speleology, I believe, is real. I think I've heard that word before.
Correct. Nicely done. Oh, there's all. Did we get them all? You got 72%.
Oh, that's not bad.
Average score is 64, so you did better than the average. You got a 13 out of 18. Will it tell me which ones, though? It isn't. Why?
Those were hard. So some of them I know I'd heard before, but vexillology, I've heard of a vexillologist. What is that one? I want to know really bad. Vexillology.
Won't give me any kind of
the study
breakdown.
of flags.
So it is real.
But that's not the study of flags. I guess you might study like.
What are you studying?
How they're constructed. That's not a science, though.
Yeah, how is that scientific? I mean, I don't want to. I'm not poo-pooing it until I hear. But what's the
yeah,
deal?
vexillology is not what I'm poo-pooing.
Right.
It's calling it a science.
Because there may be some physics going on that you're studying about. Well, what's the perfect length for a flag? What if the wind is at
Are there?
20
How
knots?
do you design a controlled, placebo-controlled trial of flags?
Yeah.
I don't know.
This is probably more of a knowing how wind velocity and length. And
No, I don't even think it's that.
You don't think it's that?
Vexillology is a lot more about the design of flags, I believe.
Oh, so like what's attractive, what draws the eye, what says something about your history, that kind of thing. That sort of.
Yeah.
See, I wouldn't call
yeah.
that science either. I'd call that. I don't know what that is. That's something else. That isn't science.
Yeah, people in the chat, I know what vexillology is. I'm saying it's not a science. This was supposed to be sciences, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe it was. Did the quiz actually say sciences, or did they just say ologies?
It just said ologies.
Okay. Then I retract my complaint.
Yeah.
It is an ology.
Yeah, because there is some ologies that aren't necessarily science, like symbology.
Or
That's what's another one?
symbology.
Uh,
What's the one?
mixology's good. 9 to 12. I like that. September's gonna go.
Parapsychology. That's
Parapsychology.
not clear. That's not real.
How about astrology?
Oh yeah, that's the one I was really looking for.
Yeah.
Astrology.
That's some bullshit wrapped up in an ology for sure.
Yeah. Sorry for everyone who believes in astrology.
I had somebody they were trying to commission some art for me, which is fine. I don't care who does, and I don't have problems with anyone who has whatever beliefs, but he said that part of what was the deal? He wanted he asked me what my astrological sign is. And I said Cancer, but why? Because I'm, July birthday. I think it's Cancer, right? Unfortunate one, by the way. Got too many meanings for the word Cancer.
Yeah,
I don't
that is
like it.
unfortunate. I feel bad for the crabs.
Yeah, the poor crab, cancer crabs. Oh man, you don't want those. You don't want the crabs or cancer, but what you really don't want is crab cancer.
Cancer crabs.
Cancer crabs. Ugh. Oh, they'll get you every time. Eggology, is that another one, chat? Yeah, there's a bunch of these. A Frog Pants art tarot deck. Don't tempt me, September. I got enough projects right now. That would be rad.
That would be kind of neat.
Anyway, I turned this guy down because he was being weird about what time of year I was born. And it was going to affect how much he was willing to pay for the commission. And I went, nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'll find someone else. All right. Let's, no offense to him if he's listening. I just thought that was weird. And that's partly why I didn't take your job. Moving on to some news. We got news to cover here. As you know, lots going on in the world right now, especially here in the States.
Yeah. Brian might be sick, but that doesn't stop the news.
That's right.
Two weeks doesn't exist in the news business.
Not in the news business. The news today is brought to you by 8-Bit Adventures. It's a podcast, and you can catch it on twitch.tv/8bitadventures, made by folks in our very own community, and wish them the best in there. All right, let's talk about a Texas family. All right. I know we have a few of those who listen, and that's great. We like Texas families. They saved an orphan baby bird by wrapping it in a tortilla. Heartfelt story here. That's all I had, says the Texas family. That's the best they could do. That's all I had was a tortilla. Texas family got wrapped up in get it? Got wrapped up.
Got wrapped up?
Yeah, get it? Well done. Who wrote this? The Guardian. In an unforeseen animal rescue mission, and saved a baby bird by cocooning it in a tortilla, earning them praise for their quick, compassionate actions. In a viral 13th of July Facebook post, the Wild West Wildlife Rehabilitation Center in Amarillo, Texas. That makes me think of a something. Oh, armadillo. I always think armadillos when I hear Amarillo. Why is that? Because they sound the same. That's why.
Yeah, it's that simple.
I'm a simple-minded guy. That's what I do. Anyway, recounted how the employees just learned of the saga after receiving a call from the Adlongs, the family at the center of the story. The Adlongs said, it's the worst thing on your Peacock subscription of those Adlongs. Oh boy.
You have to go to a higher subscription tier to get the ad shorts.
Yeah, they no longer do Freecock, so they only have Peacock and Peacock Premium. I miss Freecock. I do.
Yeah, I do too.
Mostly because I like saying it. Anyway, let's see. They had no box, so they got to get creative. I wrapped my little. She calls it now her little bird. I wrapped my little bird in a warm tortilla and swaddled him up. Says Katie Adlong. The wildlife rescue people, the rehabber, learned that the Adlong's ingenuity, or learned of it when she arrived at the family's address to check the bird out. The facility said that the bird was actually a Mississippi kite. Now, they don't mean it was a kite that had someone lost the string and it floated over the border and ended up there. That's not what we mean. Okay, it was
Mississippi kite. Got you wrapped up real tight.
That's not a real song, is it?
No, that's Mississippi Queen.
Oh, Mississippi Queen. Mississippi Queen. You know, you did a good job there of riffing. That was impressive. Anyway, they saved the bird, and now everyone's good.
That's all I had.
That's it.
It reminds me of this is the place.
Yeah, this is the place. You guys, unpack. This is it. Yeah. Human finger found in Tacoma driveway and got ID'd and returned to the owner, the guy that's meaning the guy that had the finger.
That's not the direction I thought this story was going to go when you said human finger found in driveway.
I know, you'd think that meant, ooh, gross, where is it from? But they actually figured out who it was from and saved it. I don't know if they saved it, like made it work again, but here's what happened. The case of the mysterious human finger found in a Tacoma driveway earlier this month has been solved, and the digit has been returned to its rightful owner. During the afternoon of July 5th, Tacoma Police, or the TPD, Toilet Paper Department.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's another one. Topical petrified dingus. Anyway, officers responded to a report of a finger found in a driveway, and let's see, we don't care about where they were at. This is Detective William Muse. All right. Muse provided an update in a statement to My Northwest on Tuesday, which is, I think, a paper, that a person saw the story and called the Pierce County Medical Examiner's Office, which is taking custody of the finger. The man identified himself by his surname and admitted to losing multiple digits messing around with fireworks.
Whoa, multiple digits.
Yeah, they only found one, but many digits were lost in there. Muse didn't provide the identity of the man who claimed the finger in his statement. He did explain the latent prints on the recovered finger corresponding with the information about the person available at the FBI database. Anyway, they found the guy, and he got his finger back. Let's see. Did they ever get it reattached? That's the part of the story I don't think they tell us.
Wait, how did it get to this person's driveway?
I think he was out there blowing up stuff. Nearby, and then when he blew his fingers off, one of them flew over to this guy's driveway, and he just couldn't find it because it was dark. You know?
Right.
I'm filling some of this in because they don't give us any real info. In fact, okay, I looked down. There is no update as to whether this thing is just in his possession or if he got it reattached. I'm guessing it was too dead to reattach, if I had to guess.
Probably.
Yeah, this is
probably.
What's the movie where his finger's off for a long time? Or no, they put on a new finger from like a zombie hand. What was this movie? I just saw it. Someone in the chat.
It sounds really familiar to me.
Like I just film sacked it or something. Fallout.
Oh,
Fallout. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Fallout. The television show Fallout. It was well, it wasn't him, but it was Walton Goggins' lady friend. She got her finger cut off, and they had to use a ghoul finger, I think, or something.
Yeah.
I don't remember how that went. Got to watch it again. All right. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, here's one for you, Bobby. A New Jersey man. Get a rope. Just kidding. He admitted to decapitating a seagull after it attempted to take fries from his daughter. Oh, man.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. Decapitation.
Talk about an anger problem.
Right. Plus, this is like Utah state bird. I got to have some pride here. Anyway.
This is a real, like, he went real Papa Bear.
He really did.
Seagull.
Have you seen that video flying around of a seagull riding on top of another seagull? Have you seen that?
No.
Let me find that. It's awesome. Hold on a second. It's just badass. It's a total boss move. Seagull riding another seagull. Here's the search. I found it. Oh yeah, this is epic. All right, let me share this in two places. One, chat room, and people at home. You'll get to hear/see this, and then Bobby's going to get his own copy. There he is. Okay, check this out. I don't know if this will have audio or not. Not on my side, but why isn't it playing? Oh, this is a dumb. Oh no, there it is. Okay, look at that.
That's just
seagull.
standing there. I thought they were going to both have their wings out.
Nope. He's like, I mean, he does a little bit when things get unstable, but he's like, hey, Frank, I paid for gas. You drive. Isn't that great though?
Yeah, it does. It has sort of a like, hey, you want to try something stupid?
Yeah,
kind of
yeah. You want to do something dumb? You think this would even work? Like, there's just a couple of they're like dude birds. They're like still on their whatever the teens would be for birds. I love that idea.
And for people at home who can't see it, it's imagine that you took a seagull that was flying, a still image of that, and then you took a seagull that was on the ground, a still image of that, and just
put them together,
Photoshop them on top of each other.
Yeah,
that's exactly what it looks like.
And they don't stay attached for very long, but once, because eventually it gets a little unstable, and you can see the other one trying to wobble off, and then he flies away. But for a hot minute there, you know, those seagulls were really getting to know each other, if you know what I mean. They were not mating, I should say. That was not what was happening there.
Yeah, you definitely implied that they were doing it.
They were floating, or he was freeloading, is what he's doing. Anyway, back to the point here. This South Jersey man is facing charges because you can't do this. He decapitated a seagull. Although I guess you could say you can't do this and get caught. I feel like under the right circumstances, I could behead a seagull. I don't want to, but if the thing's attacking a kid or it's trying to poke my eyes out or some other non-believed bad idea that I can't think of, if one of those things was happening, I'd cut the head off. I'd break his neck probably.
Yeah,
you know?
if it was attacked. But stealing Carter's French fries.
No, we'd let that happen. That'd be funny. It'd be a great story, right? And Carter would love it. She'd giggle. Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, by the way, top of the show, people heard this laugh here. Hold on. So that is Van. He's 5 years old, and that is him laughing. Guess what he is laughing at, and I'll give you a hint. It's something you can watch on a television. And the other hint I will say is it is something many generations have laughed at. So you tell me what you think it was. And I'll play it one more time. There you go.
So it's not a decapitated seagull.
No.
No. Many generations have watched it.
Yep.
It's you can watch it on the TV. I don't know. The hamster dance.
Let's find out. Is it the hamster dance? No. The answer is Rainbow Bright as the big winner. Tom and Jerry cartoons.
Is it? How did you guess that?
I don't know how she got that. He is obsessed with those. And to the point of that kind of laughter, very common coming out of his face now. And it was probably something dumb like the dog Spike got hit in the face with a frying pan and his face stayed like a frying pan. Or Jerry pulled one of Tom's whiskers out and he made that awesome yell that Tom used to do. Anyway,
that's a good education in comedy.
It is. I think physical, nonverbal comedy is something every kid should appreciate because I think it's the gateway to having a more nuanced understanding of what's funny in the world.
Not just that, but and I know people might be listening and thinking that I'm joking, but I'm serious. Old like Looney Tunes cartoons, Tom and Jerry, all these old things, especially the stuff like you're talking about that's no words, like it's just music, right? And physical and stuff like that. Those are like, you got to watch. It's like the basic education in comedic timing, and everything was just so precise and distilled. It was just great. It was perfect.
Yep.
And it's good for kids to learn a little bit about comedy.
I agree. It's still good. It's still funny as hell. And there's very specific eras and creators that I'm pushing him toward. Like this, I introduced him to the Tom and Jerry stuff without his mother's permission. I was just like, hey, come here, buddy. You got to see this. I was worried that it
into a
might
dark room and.
Well, I was worried that it might, like one of these old school fears of like, well, what if he gets rowdy and starts breaking stuff because it's funny now? You have to consider these depending on what kid it is, but he's not like that at all, and he sees this stuff and just sees the humor in it. And now I can get more nuanced with him as he gets older. I can go, all right, now let's look at the crappy ones from the 70s and the 80s where they tried to do Tom and Jerry again and failed. Why is this different? Why does it look different? Why is the animation cheaper? Why are the jokes not landing? Like, I want to teach him to be this nuanced comedy consumer. That may sound weird, but I really do. I want to do that. I am doing that, right? Also, I'm exposing him to all kinds of cool stuff. He's watching Transformers, like old Generation 1 stuff from the 80s. He likes Super Friends. Like, I've almost weaned him completely off anything modern. Not that those are bad. Like, Bluey's one of the greatest things ever invented. So he loves Bluey. But I'm trying to just say, hey, kid, let's watch the stuff that's good. And that means old stuff, too. And it's okay to like old stuff. Anyway, there's that. That's it for today's news. And that is roughly it for the show. Bobby, it was a quick one. All right.
You know what I've noticed?
What's that?
Every time I'm on a Thursday, Wendi is not.
Not every time. She's been here a couple times.
Well, no. She has been here, I think, twice. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but I think I notice it more because every time you're like, hey, you think you can do the show and it's Thursday, I'm like, oh, I get to hang out with Wendi. Oh, no, I'm not.
Oh, because she's not here. You know where she is? Yeah. She's in, where is she? D.C. And,
well, that's a cool place to be.
At the moment.
Well,
sure.
Maybe not right now.
Well, maybe it's worse or better right now. I don't know. I can't even gauge it. But she's there. She's going there with her husband for something. I don't know what it was. Tickets to see something. And I'm like, wow, what a time to go to D.C. And she goes, oh, it's better now than like anywhere close to November. I'm like, yeah, that's a good point. So.
Yeah, for real.
So we'll find out next week.
It's hot right now, though.
Yeah, really hot in D.C. So we'll find out if she had any fun, if she was able to flip off Ted Cruz or Nancy Pelosi. Look, I'm equal. It's equal.
Yeah. Equal opportunity bird.
Right. Let's say
flipping.
Ted Cruz is on one side of the street eating a baby gopher out in the street, and then over here Nancy Pelosi is sucking the life force out of a dog. I don't know. Both of them are a little weird. Wendi could just go both windows, slap them up on both sides. Big 70s birds.
Yeah. Yep.
That's the plan because she is an equal opportunity flipper. I made all that up. All right. Let's a couple of quick things. Reminder about the survey. I'm going to be taking it down after this weekend and using the results to see some stuff. Interesting bits of information gleaned so far, though. I'll share just a couple of these if I can find it. Oh, Scott, what'd you do with the images? They're right here. Okay. Well, I guess I put them on threads. I can read them there. How long have you been consuming Frog Pants content was one of the questions. And look at this. Look at these percentages. Less than a year. Barely a sliver in there. Can't even see the color. It's blue. 1 to 2 years. A decent little piece of the pie. Little percentage there. 3 to 5 years. Larger piece of the pie. Longer. 90.7%.
Wow.
That's a Pac-Man whose mouth is almost closed. That chart. Look at that.
What do you do with it? What does that information tell you, though? Do you think like you are, does that mean you're going to cater stuff toward that percentage, or does that mean, we need to make our show more accessible to new listeners? What is that?
I think that there is a combination of lessons here. One is that there's, I create the kind of long-term, I think there's long-term loyalty with what I do.
Right, it's good to know what your strengths are,
right,
for sure.
Right, I think that's one thing. So that means, hey, people that found us in 05, they're still here. That's cool. Longevity is cool. People hanging on that long is cool. However, this doesn't say great things about, like, new people.
Growth.
Growth. And part of that is a thing I've had a problem with not just podcasting, but just creator content in general. What has happened is the more mainstream it's gone and people like former talk show hosts or comedians or well-known celebrities start their own shows, that's easy for them to immediately build an audience because they're carrying it from somewhere else.
Yep.
It is harder for independents to grab new eyeballs than it's ever been. It's very hard. That stuff just doesn't get surfaced like it used to. It's also late in the game. There's tons of people competing, but it's much more difficult to get new people. So I think that's some of that. So I don't know. I'm multiple lessons are being learned here.
Yeah, I almost want to write an essay titled "The Myth of the Independent Podcast" or "The Myth of the Grassroots Podcaster" or something like that.
Yeah,
you know,
because they can exist. They do exist. Like the biggest. Let's talk about streaming for a second. The biggest streamers right now are streamers who were nobodies that nobody knew about, and then they were huge due to whatever circumstances, timing, got lucky. Drake came on their thing, whatever their things were. The important lesson there is not that it can't be done; it's that the probability is astronomically low.
Sure.
That you'll do it. And in even if you have 100 people watching your stream, that may seem low to you because the people you follow are doing 20,000 people watching simultaneously. That 100 puts you in the top 1% of Twitch or YouTube streaming.
Yeah.
But
you know what's funny is that you're talking about streaming right now, which almost goes to support the point that I have, which is that that's not the case in podcasting anymore. It's really hard.
Oh, it's even harder.
Really hard nowadays.
Even harder. I agree with you. Remember back in the day when I can't speak for everybody. When I was growing up, everybody who played basketball thought they could be Jordan if they wanted.
Sure.
Like all it took, this old pull your bootstraps up and you can do anything kind of bullshit we tell each other and ourselves. As if it's a completely equal playing field and there are no advantages to some over others and all that sort of thing. And so everybody felt like, well, I can be like Jordan, or at the very least, I can be like some other secondary player. I can be Pippen. I can be, Rodman, whatever. The Bulls were the big example. And the truth of it is your chances, your actual just percentage chances were so astronomically unattainable that it was just folly. It almost was like a religious belief for yourself where it's just faith that you could do it and not real.
Yeah.
Like no actual plan of attack. And I feel like podcasting and even YouTube, people, video, all this stuff, it's the same problem, but way, way worse in terms of the numbers. The numbers are terrible. Right. In fact, you had way better chances being Jordan than you have being Kai Cenat or Joe Rogan or name anyone else who gets all the hits like that. Those are outlier exceptions to the norm. And mostly my data shows me from what I've seen so far. And again, I haven't really parsed this too far, but what I've learned the most from it is that my longtime belief that slow and steady is a happy place to be, meaning growth, but it's on a slower curve. There's no giant spike of Hawk Tuah girl ratio to crash. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like this instead of this is a better long-term plan. It's a conservative plan, not even a plan. It's just a conservative growth line, but it's a good, happy place to be where bills get paid, content gets made, people are happy, community is built, trust is built over time, right? I feel like that's a place I'm very happy to exist in, and I feel lucky to exist in because I even think that is now statistically very improbable for a lot of new people trying to do this.
Yeah. One thing to keep in mind is, and Tally said this in the chat and reminded me of this, is sampling bias. The way that people are getting this survey, you're not by nature of how the survey is going out, and this is not anything, not a fault of your own. It's just how it works.
Right.
The casual listener, or you're probably by virtue of the fact that it's shared on social media, which has to be a place where people follow you. That's where most of the people are going to interact with it. Those are probably going to be more loyal people anyway. So your more casual listeners and people who've been listening for less time is probably bigger, but maybe not a lot. You just don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, you can't tell. Absolutely, it's biased. I mean, biased in that sense. Like one thing I avoided doing in it is, how awesome on a scale from 1 to 10 do you think I am? Or how cool is this content? I didn't do any of that. Because that's a waste of time. You're going to get it's going to weigh more on the positive side than it's actually true. Also, some of this, here's this one. all current shows you consume regularly and all that apply. So you could choose multiples. And it had everything from Word on the Street up to TMS, Core, the bigger ones. Right. And if I go by download numbers and view numbers, Core has everything beat by a pretty good margin right now. Core is the biggest thing I make. Mm-hmm. The morning stream, not distant second, but a distant second in relativity. Sure. But if I look at this result, the morning stream is out and ahead with 80.9% compared to 54% for Core. Well, that does not correlate, but it does correlate with where the bias of the test of who's most likely to sign up for this. Rando quiet lurkers who listen to Core and have for a long time, they're not bothering with this.
Right.
They're playing their video games or whatever it is they're doing. Morning stream people are very active and super into it. So you see that in a lot of these, like there's no way to avoid it, but it gives me an idea of where you got to focus on your tips of the spear anyway. Here's some advice, everybody. You can't please everybody. I can promise you that. For sure. If I've learned anything, that is a strict truth. But what you can do is you focus on those who are the most active, the most loyal, the ones that show up when you need them the most, the ones that are there every day. Those people, are very important, and these numbers reflect where they come from. So I'm learning less about this chart here about the shows is less about where are they listening, and more about where are the most active, like participant, community focused listeners coming from. Which shows are those? Right. And it's interesting. Like right now,
but also there are questions. I took the survey when I saw it. There are questions on there that are obviously intended for people you already know are listening. You want to know some of their opinions about certain things. So it's a very useful survey for people to take, regardless of whether there's sampling bias. You still want to know certain things about the people who are listening and what their preferences are and what kinds of things they like. And stuff like
if anything, I'm more interested in what the most active, biased people want, because they are the ones I want to focus on, because that's
right. That's the point that you're making.
Yeah, that's the rubber in the road right there. So thanks for being a rubber to my road. Not the kind you leave out there after a weird night on the town. That's a weird thing to say. Also, lots of you want T-shirts and clothes. I don't know why that is, but I'm working on it. And our Discord to not on Discord ratio here, also biased, but also interesting. 67% of people who took this test are also on the Discord, 32% not. If anything, I'm surprised at the nots, because I thought more people would be on there. And then finally, all the reasons why they don't do it. It says, I don't use Discord. Other person says, I don't even know what that means. No interest. I find it hard to navigate Discord. I'm old is one of them. I don't talk too much. I'm shy. Honest. Yeah, no, I like the honesty. This thing was anonymous, and nobody had to give me their name, and I like it. Someone just wrote, made me laugh. I don't get it. Anyway.
Cool.
And another thing. This is another strange bias. Have you ever been to a... it skipped past. What happened there? Okay. Have you ever been to a Frog Pants event before? Nerdtacular, TMS, Vegas, etc. 86.2% said no, and only 13.8% of you have come. So that's data I can do something with. That's me going, we got to get more people to Vegas. We got to get more people to this or that, or let's go to this, the East Coast and do a thing or whatever. So that's interesting. And then the predominant number of people, 62.5% said they would love to come to an event if it made sense. So anyway, it's a really cool thing. Thanks for taking it, everybody. If you haven't yet, go have your feelings be made over at frogpants.com/survey. You can do it on mobile or desktop. Again, you don't have to sign into anything, do anything, no name, nothing. It's anonymous. And that'll be the last you'll see of that thing. All right. Also, we're running out of Fallout prints over at frogpants.shop. If you have not picked up your collection, now is the time, 5x5 or 8x8. And let's see, I'll pull it up real quick so people can see it one more time. Frogpants.shop is the new store location. You can also get there through frogpants.com. Of course, it's all tied together. And if you go over there, you'll see the very first thing, which is the Wasteland collection. If you click that, you will see a bunch of Fallout-inspired art that I did, including a Nuka-Cola building, like tower thing. The Vault Boy getting his hand knocked off or cut off and being happy about it. and a hackable terminal from the game. All of these things, Fallout fans will know what they're about. If you like the show and if you just like the vibe, get free shipping in the U.S. and grab your set today. I was told by my new store runner, my daughter Taylor, that we are running out. So if you have not done it, perhaps now is your time. And finally, a couple of shows coming up. Tonight, 5 p.m., Core will be on. We're going to talk a lot about the pre-patch for World of Warcraft, The War Within, which dropped this week. And
Nice.
I played a bunch of it. And cross-guild thing happening for core listeners, some other cool stuff, so watch for that. Played a ton of Final Fantasy and a bunch of other things, and we have plenty to talk about. So join me and John and Bo tonight, 5 p.m. Mountain Time, right here.
And
at
I'll be in the
Talkcast.tv.
chat. Join me in the chat.
Yeah, join Bobby in the chat. Boy, the back and forth in there will be epic. All right? What's the other thing I was going to tell you about that? That's it. Oh, Play Retro. Also tomorrow, 1:30, normal time, and Film Sack this weekend, all things willing. Hopefully Brian will be healthy. I don't know. We don't know. Send him your thoughts and your love via Discord and other places. We hope he feels much better sooner. And Bobby, I have you to thank for making sure we had a show today. So thanks for hanging out with me.
Anytime. You know I'm always if nothing else, I am your backup co-host. That's my sole purpose in life.
That's right. You look like Jesus, and you save podcasts like Jesus also. So well done. Mm-hmm. You paid the ultimate price. And anyway, one of the prices that I pay is making sure you get a chance to talk about your cool show, so people flock over there and check it out. Tell them all about it, will you please?
My show is a science show. Because I am science adjacent, and it's called All Around Science. And my co-host and I, we talk about science every week and what's going on in science and just the things that are exciting to us in science. The past couple of weeks, we've been doing a couple of mailbag episodes, answering a ton of questions that listeners had. Those are always fun. I love doing mailbag episodes in our science show. But today, in fact, in about an hour, we're going to be recording next week's episode, and I'm going to do a whole roundup on the bird flu. Have you seen a bunch of news headlines about bird flu lately?
I have lots of some confirmed cases of bird flu popping up and stuff. Yep. Yeah, scary.
Yep, it's been creeping up the past few months, and I'm going to go back and kind of do a roundup of everything that's happened in the past 5-6 months having to do with the bird flu and where we are with that, and let you know whether or not it's something we should be worried about. So tune in for that.
Yep, watch out for bird flu.
Where'd you dig up this shit bird anyway?
Yeah, shit birds. That's what birds
all
are.
All around science. I should say it again. All around science.
Yeah, do that, please. And don't forget what Romney said.
I like PBS. I love Big Bird.
He loves Big Bird, even though it's got a big old virus in him. All right? Did I tell you I brushed up against that guy's junk once? Anyway, that's a whole other story.
Best
I talked
day
about
of
it on
your
here. Didn't I talk about it on here? I think I did.
I'm sure you've talked about it. Yeah.
Total mistake, or accident. It wasn't on purpose, unless he meant to. All right. Oh, and it's hilarious. I didn't even realize this. So he makes this Big Bird.
I like
comment.
PBS. I love Big Bird.
That was at an event with Muppets.
Yeah.
That I accidentally brushed up against Mitt Romney's
oh wow
frontal lobe.
Frontal lobe.
All right. Well, and I don't know what this means for for play date tomorrow. We'll see how Brian's feeling. We could always do a play date without him, but I hate doing that. I'd much rather have him there. But we'll let you guys know. So keep an ear on Discord and all that stuff.
I'll be around if you need me.
Oh, and if anyone's ever confused about when things stream or go live or podcasts go up, I made a whole page for this. You just go to frogpants.com/schedule, and the whole thing's there real time. So if I change something, I will change it, and you will see it like that. It will always be current. So not only, there's other places you can find out the schedule, but they're not always accurate. That's the place to be if you're ever concerned about what's happening that day. All right. I think that's everything. I feel like I'm just yammering today. We're going to go out on a fun note here. I got a song to play, and I picked this one because I'm just in the mood for more of his amazing music. So many of you know our main theme of the show, which goes a little something like this. This thing that we play every week or every day. This is Eric Van Skyhawk, who musically goes by the name Skyhawk. And he made that for us years ago. For those who've been listening for more than 5 years, you'll remember App Slappy. He was my co-host on there. Eric and I have been friends forever. And it turns out I dated his girlfriend once in high school and didn't know it. Anyway, he writes music here and there and does some amazing stuff. I've always liked Eric's stuff. And he, in particular, did a song called Echoes not too many years ago. I'm not even sure it ever went anywhere else public, but it was something I had here and could play. So I have been off and on, but I don't think we've ever played on the show. So I'm going to change that today. It's going to get played on the show. All right. So this is Echoes by Skyhawk. We'll see you guys on Monday.
This show is part of the Frog Pants Network. Yes. Get more at frogpants.com.
The blood of Uranus can never be destroyed.
Have you heard that before? The blood of your